Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at the new premium that is coming in for Italy. This is the AMX A-1A, and it's, I believe, the first Brazilian aircraft that we're going to have in the game. It's the Ghibli, and this is a premium version of the AMX, the Ghibli that you see right here. There are differences between them, which is why they're different BRs. You can see that the AMX in air is 10.3 and in ground it's 10.7, whereas the A1A is 10.7 in air and 11.0 in ground. And the basic reason is because of what they have access to. The major differences are the kind of secondary munitions each of them gets. The AMX being the standard tech tree one, it gets a bunch of guided bombs, which is really cool, and also the AIM-9Ls, which have the all-aspect seeker on it, plus some drop tanks and a bunch of dumb bombs and rockets. And since, you know, it has access to the CCIPs and the CCRP for bombs, it can be really powerful. It also has access to the Seeker, the good old thermal one, the CLDP, so you can see stuff from absolutely miles away, which is what makes this thing as powerful as it is. Plus the 20mm just to kind of help it out too, and the little radar in the front. So the AMX 1A, why is this higher BR? Well, mainly down to its missiles and also what else it can carry. So the missiles are not AIM-9Ls. It has the MAA-1 Piranha air-to-air missiles. Now these have a ridiculous overload, 45 Gs. Their maximum speed is 3.5 Mach, so not as fast as some other missiles, and also they are all-aspect with a all-aspect lock range of 3 kilometers. The guidance time is very similar to a lot of other missiles, and yeah, they just pull like crazy. They do not have the IRCCM, so they can be countermeasured, but just understand that they will correct very quickly once they're on top of you. There is no rockets for this vehicle. It does have a bunch of dumb bombs and also drag bombs if you want to bring them along, but I think the main thing people are going to bring is this, the guided bombs, the Lizard 2s that this has access to. So these are laser guided bombs. You can bring 6 of them, and also the Thermal Lightning 2 targeting pod, which is pretty nuts. So that is going to be the setup for this vehicle. It also has access to the ELTA rangefinder, which is right here, and you can see here, it's basically the same as the other one. I don't know whether it's going to be slightly different or not, and also the cannons are different too, with the AMX A1A having access to 2 30mm Defers instead of the Vulcan. So a slight downgrade in the guns compared to the Vulcan, but it still should be fine, especially since your major armament is actually back here. So the engine is the Rolls-Royce Spey 807. The engine is the same on both. This means that it can't go supersonic, doesn't have an afterburner, and instead is pretty nippy for what it is, but it's good enough for the vehicle, right? The vehicle itself is one which is more designed around ground attack than it is around air attack, which is why it's lower BR in air. And at 11.0, with this vehicle for ground, you do have some vehicles you can run, mainly at 11.3 though, but that is the major BR you're going to be playing, whether you're with the AMX or with the AMX 1A. The other thing is this is at rank 7, so every time you use it, you'll be able to 100% efficiently research anything in the Italian/Hungarian tech tree, which is really cool, and also means it will be easy to get through them. So this vehicle is looking really nice. Like, there really isn't anything to kind of get mad about with this vehicle or anything like that. It's one of those which will be very dominant when you allow it to be dominant. The major thing you're going to run into with this, though, is, you know, the fact that I feel like people are going to get overconfident with these missiles. At the 10.7-11.0 area where this is at, pretty much everything you face has countermeasures. You can see here the radar that it has access to is basically a gun radar, which isn't very useful, so it'll just give you away. It does have an RWR, but we can't see it in the cockpit, and the RWR should work pretty well, telling you when you're locked on and all of that good stuff. Also has 120 countermeasures, so if anybody shoots you with anything, you can just get rid of them. You can see the countermeasure pods right here, which are inbuilt into the vehicle. It's kind of odd how there's more on the left than the right, but there you go, I suppose. It does do them kind of independently from each other, so you can create some pretty cool stuff. So not as many countermeasures as some other places, but enough to be useful. Now, the Brazilians have a huge population and also play a metric ton of free-to-play games, which is kind of cool. If you have a look at a bunch of different communities, they are very much full of Brazilians, which is cool. And in War Thunder, it's no different. There's always been some quite large squads which are full of Brazilians, and Brazil as a nation is very much known for its pride about its vehicles and also about everything that's around. So to see them get a vehicle which they will enjoy and have access to and, you know, have a good time with, is good. You know, that's really cool to actually see. And I'm hoping, kind of going forward, what they'll do is add a few more Brazilian vehicles in the game. This one is a very obvious premium that they could have added to kind of supplement ground lineups for Italy, especially now that the Leopard 2A7 is in. But at the same time, you know, you could actually add some other ones in too, just to kind of show you the thermal pod that this thing has access to. So what you do with this vehicle in ground is you go really high away from the battlefield, and what you end up doing is you look for ground targets with the thermals like this. You hit the laser guided bomb, you wait until it goes close, and then after the bomb is gone, then you just go back upwards, maybe throw a few countermeasures, and go right above the radar AAs because they're not going to be able to see you. And that, you know, obviously kind of sucks for them. It's something that happens quite a lot with vehicles like this, and the only thing you got to worry about is obviously the destination that you are hitting these things on. So, you know, if your bombs are flying too fast like they were there, they're not going to hit the target. But if they're, you know, in a decent way, it's not too bad. You can also do it from a third person point of view if you really want to, which obviously is quite good too. That is something which, you know, a lot of people are much better at than I am. But even though these bombs are not huge compared to other ones that are around, they'll be good enough to be able to annihilate whatever they see. And because they're super precise and you can put them on an assault fuse. So yeah, it's going to be a good vehicle, but is it that different from the standard AMX? Not really. If anything, the standard AMX has access to better ground ordnance, or at least more ground ordnance options, is probably the way to put it. And that is kind of annoying, I suppose, for a vehicle like this. I feel like with the laser guider, you can keep it going in. Don't worry about this, by the way. This is just a bug, so they'll fix it eventually. It's just a bug on the dev server. And hopefully, like, kind of going forward, we'll see more of these types of vehicles. And now with the adjusted BRs, it'll be a little bit better as well to actually work them out. So you won't just have ridiculous vehicles all over the place. It doesn't have the HMD, but as we talked about, it does have the all aspect lock. You can see how quickly it turns here, like that. And yeah, it's a pretty cool missile, but it can be countermeasured, so make sure to countermeasure it as it goes about. As always though, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.